Welcome to Wake Up Call. I'm your host, Melody Brooke. Every day we will bring you guests that will wake you up to a new reality. So I know you guys have been really struggling to have this website, your channel via success, and over the years you've gone through a lot. And today, Dan and Jennifer have such a huge following. There's what, 2 million people that watch your show every week, every month?
Every month, yeah.
It's a tremendous number of people. And I know, I've known you long enough to know that you guys have been through it. So can you say a little bit about what all you've been through and how it is that you've come through it?
I wouldn't call it a struggle, though. When you're doing something you love, you can have some. No, seriously. When you start a new business and what it amounts to, right? You invest a lot of yourself, time, effort, and you. And for a while, you don't see a darn thing, which is why so many people quit, early on to their business. But when you're doing something you love, I don't know that I'd call it a struggle as much as, I don't know, what the heck do you call it?
Seriously,
it's a good thing.
We started Ask Dan and Jennifer about 3 years ago, probably 2.5, 3 years ago. There were 30 people that started at the same time that we did, that we were close online friends with. And do you know that today there's only one other person that's still doing it?
Wow.
I mean, that's the key thing. And you just have to do it.
And yet, you guys have given up a lot. You lost your home?
Yes.
Yes.
We were actually willing, okay, and not everybody's going to be willing to do this, but we were willing to walk away from a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood, move into an apartment for a year,
really beautiful,
to make our business work.
And it wasn't just you. I mean, you have children, so this was a huge thing for you to decide to do.
It was. I've never lived in a place that small before. Oh my God. but it was worth it.
It's a huge risk, but we knew that we were following our passion. We knew what we wanted to do and where we wanted this to go, so we were willing to make the sacrifices up front, and that's where most people fall short. They don't want to make those sacrifices.
Away from the corporate
now, I know
trough,
you guys get
money.
You guys get a lot of criticism for your show because you do talk about topics that are controversial. You talk about things that kind of push the edge. And how is it that you, for yourself, sort of maintain that sense of this is a good thing that you're doing, and that it's really in alignment with your spirit? How do you do
what's that saying? If you have no critics, you're not doing it right. You're not doing anything. Seriously, in any sampling, when you take 100 people, you're going to have about 5 that are generally unhappy with pretty much everything you put in front of them, because that's who they are. They live and feed off of that unhappiness, and they kind of darken everyone else's day too. You can't stop everything you're doing, and you can't reel in your passion, your goals, and everything, because 5 of these 100 people are suddenly unhappy because you know what? You pay them no attention. They're going to go take their little cloud, the little thunder cloud, to somebody else's door later. You have to look inside yourself to see what you need to be doing, where you need to be going.
Yeah, and you have to follow your truth, okay? Yeah. If you know in your heart that what you're doing is a good thing, then you need to keep doing it, and that's what we do. We encourage people. Part of what we do on Ask Dan and Jennifer is to get people to think and question things that they may have previously not thought about really deeply and question.
So you try to wake people up too.
Yeah, wake up. It's like, wake up, people.
You're right. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
And yet, but for yourself, it's been a personal challenge. It's been a professional challenge for both of you, because I know you don't have a huge crew of people helping you, but yet you persist on and on. Where does that come from inside of you?
Damn stubbornness. Seriously.
Passion.
Passion. You know what?
Passion. Believe in what you're doing.
And you know what? Passion and the courage and the stubbornness. I'm going to say the stubbornness to follow that passion, because I don't give a damn what anybody else thinks. I do what I feel is right. Sometimes we butt heads over that, but I'm extremely fortunate to have a partner that is really hot and really has the same passion that I have.
I think that love, I think that passion that you have, not only for what you're doing, but for each other, really is part of what sells it.
It is. We are truly yin and yang, okay? We are so opposite and so opposing, and yet we couldn't do what we do without each other. So it does take both of us.
And one of your passions, I know, is sexual honesty, because I know that that was something that you really pursued. I guess you have a nonprofit to that degree, or
we're working on the nonprofit.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know sexual honesty is a really big issue for you. So can you say some more to our audience about what that is and what that's about?
Yes, look.
That is such a mouthful.
Okay, I'm concise. I'm the concise one. I can do this. Sex honesty is about being honest and open about your sexuality and not being afraid to talk about it. If you can't talk about sex and relationships and intimacy with your own partner, who are you going to talk to? If your children see you living a sexually dishonest life where you're hiding everything and you're afraid of this and you're worried about what everyone else is thinking, what are they going to grow up thinking about relationships?
Right.
Call
they're
that
supposed
breeding
to be.
dysfunction, and we all do it. We all do it too much.
And it is so important, not just for ourselves, but for our families to see that. And most of us do struggle with that, don't we? That need to really be able to be that open about ourselves and our sexuality, especially because that's such a, where our Puritan roots and all that, it makes it difficult for us to allow
Well,
ourselves
and you have to worry, what are the other soccer moms going to say if they know that you talk to your kids about sex? You have this whole balancing act.
Parents don't talk to their teens. Their early teens are about sex at all. And you know what? They're thinking, I'm not going to talk to them, it's okay. But that's really the coward's way out. I really believe that it is. It's the ignorant coward's way out. Because you know what? They're going to talk to their friends at school. And I'd rather my kids get my informed opinion with my whatever decades of age and experience that I have than, their friends at school.
That is so profound.
It
That is so
amazing.
profound.
Well, I'm going to one-up that even.
See, this is
If you don't talk to your kids about sex, they're going to go on YouTube and learn about sex from us. Okay, it's your choice. I'm hoping that you will talk to your children.
That's if they're lucky and don't get on some
other weird site.
show, something.
Our show is educational. There are a lot of shows out there on YouTube and on the internet that are not educational.
Right, with the iPhone and the iPad and the access that kids have to computers, that information is just out there.
And we're so big on safe sex, but it is amazing. It's epidemic levels. How many kids think that safe sex means you pull out in time? Seriously.
Oh my.
No, it really, it is incredible because parents are not doing their parental responsibility and talking to their children.
It's so hard. It's so hard to talk to your kids
lots of
about
stuff is
that.
hard, but you still got to do it.
So I know this isn't really your area, but how would you suggest that a parent do that?
Okay, my suggestion is it's not so much about what you say to your kids, but what they see you doing. And if they feel comfortable and safe enough to come talk to you about things, they will. If you're very judgmental and you better not get pregnant, and you better not have sex, and you better not, and they preach at you and they dictate everything you're supposed to do, they're not going to feel comfortable coming and talking to you.
I totally
because you're
agree.
not a friend.
Yes.
You're this fascist that they're afraid of.
Yeah.
So so really, it's about having your child not be afraid of you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, fear is a lot of us were raised
most of
with
us,
fear.
yes, most of us were raised that way.
But that was a much more primitive time in our society.
Trust me, I can tell you.
It's not getting. It is growing slowly.
I can tell you as a counselor that still happens. That parents still believe that the way to get your kids under control is to scare them into doing what you want them to do, right?
Yeah.
Instead of allowing them to have the space and freedom to be who they are and sort of guide them along in their life, which is really what you're talking about in terms of sexuality. Is being available to guide them.
Right. You teach them, you guide them, you tell them what your preferences are, but then you have to trust them to make intelligent decisions, and you have to give them the information they need to make smart decisions.
Because when they're curious, I'd rather them come to me than to some kid at school who doesn't know anything and tells them that having safe sex is pulling out in time.
Well,
because that's where these teens are getting pregnant.
And I've commented enough on your forums to know that a lot of the people that watch your show, there are people from all over the world watch your show, and there's people in repressed cultures who learn so much from your shows and are in there looking for that information. So you really are creating something that's extremely valuable, not just to the kids, but to people all over the world. So I just want to thank you for the work that you do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.